90-Day Fiancé cast members are guilty of issues that drive me up the wall. Every season, Part 1. The latest season of the popular reality series brought together couples from different backgrounds, cultures, and life experiences. As always, viewers watched closely as relationships faced challenges, misunderstandings, and emotional decisions. While every cast member had unique struggles, two individuals quickly became the center of attention because of behaviors that repeatedly created tension throughout the season. Their actions were not shocking because they were unusual. In fact, many longtime viewers felt frustrated because these same patterns appeared again and again. Every conversation seemed to circle back to the same issues, making it difficult for progress to happen. Friends, family members, and even partners often found themselves repeating the same advice, hoping things would finally change. The first cast member had a habit of avoiding direct communication. Whenever an important topic appeared, the discussion would suddenly shift in another direction. Instead of addressing concerns immediately, excuses often replaced honest answers. At first, this seemed understandable. Moving to a new country, adjusting to a relationship, and dealing with family expectations can create enormous pressure. However, as the weeks passed, the pattern became impossible to ignore. Simple questions often received complicated responses. Rather than solving problems, conversations became longer and more confusing. The partner frequently asked for clarity, but clear answers rarely arrived. This created frustration because trust depends heavily on openness. One evening, the couple sat together to discuss future plans. They needed to decide where they would live and how they would manage their finances. It should have been a productive conversation. Instead, every question seemed to lead to another unrelated topic. The partner tried to stay patient. "What do you really want?" they asked. The answer sounded thoughtful at first, but after several minutes, nobody in the room could determine what decision had actually been made. Family members watching the discussion exchanged concerned looks. They understood that uncertainty is normal, but avoiding decisions entirely was creating bigger problems. The second cast member struggled with a completely different issue. This person wanted everything to happen immediately. Patience seemed almost impossible. Every disagreement became urgent. Every concern demanded an instant solution. Every delay felt like a personal attack. The problem wasn't caring too much about the relationship. The problem was expecting major life changes to happen overnight. Relationships require time. Trust requires time. Cultural adjustments require time. Yet this cast member often acted as though every challenge should disappear within a few days. When expectations weren't met, disappointment quickly followed. At one family gathering, relatives tried explaining that certain traditions and customs were important. They weren't rejecting the relationship. They simply needed time to become comfortable with the changes happening around them. The explanation was respectful and sincere. Unfortunately, the cast member interpreted the situation differently. Instead of hearing a request for patience, they heard resistance. The conversation became tense. Everyone around the table wanted peace, but frustration continued growing because nobody felt understood. Viewers watching at home could easily see both sides of the situation. The family wanted time. The cast member wanted immediate acceptance. Neither goal was unreasonable, but the inability to compromise created conflict that lasted for weeks. As the season continued, these two individuals often found themselves facing similar criticism from friends and loved ones. People weren't asking for perfection. They were asking for growth. The first cast member needed to communicate more directly. The second cast member needed to become more patient. Neither change sounded impossible. In fact, many viewers believed these issues could be solved relatively quickly if both people genuinely focused on self-improvement. One memorable moment occurred during a group event where several couples gathered together. What began as a relaxed evening soon turned into an unexpected discussion about relationship challenges. Each couple shared experiences and lessons they had learned. Some conversations were emotional, others were humorous. When it came time for the first cast member to speak, The group hoped the opportunity was perfect. Everyone listened carefully. For a brief moment, it seemed as though real progress might happen. Important concerns were finally acknowledged. Feelings were expressed openly. The room became quieter as people paid attention. Then, just as the discussion reached its most important point, the conversation drifted away from the central issue once again. Several cast members looked disappointed. They weren't angry. They simply wanted a clear answer. Across the room, the second cast member faced a similar challenge. Another participant suggested slowing down and allowing the relationship to develop naturally. The advice was practical and supportive, yet impatience quickly appeared once more. The suggestion was treated as criticism instead of encouragement. The discussion became awkward.